And just like that, we're back again. Uncle Bull Cow. So today I wanted to discuss something. It is the till versus no-till method. These are my pepper plants from last year. You're asking yourself, you're like, Uncle Bull Cow, why did you leave them in the garden like that? And they're just all dead, and you got all kinds of clovers and different vegetation growing up. What is going on here? Why wouldn't you have ripped those out and, threw something over top of them? Or not throw anything top of them? Why wouldn't you just chop that up and till it into the soil? I'm going to explain why. I don't have my tripod with me today. Let me see if I can just set this phone like this. Probably not the best idea because the weeds are going to catch it. I can't see what you guys are seeing right now, but I'll pick the phone up afterwards. So, handy dandy shovel. Just gonna bring this up a little bit. I can show you guys. All right. You see how rich that soil is right there? Okay. This soil, I have found that when you do not till, what I do is I'll come over here with Mrs. Bull Cow and another, I don't know, sometime in the next month, and we will actually take all of this vegetation off. Probably between 1 to 3 weeks before I'm ready to plant. And what we'll do is we'll come over here, we'll get all of this, the weeds and anything that's growing or anything that's dead, we will get it off, and we'll actually take, the only thing bad about this is we shake this out, right? We like to shake it. But we like to shake out whatever's, in the roots. And then I put fresh soil over top. And this has worked great for me. And the reason why is these, there's some of these plants in here and some of these weeds that have tap roots. Really, really strong ones. And they go way down into the soil deep. And all of the nutrients that get washed down whenever it rains or anything, they all go down to the bottom eventually, most of them. And then the tap roots from the bigger weeds and the stuff that just grows, is alive through the winter. I mean, you can see it's 38 degrees out right now. Look at it. You got stuff growing, you know what I mean? But some of these weeds that are in this, and they're every year they grow back, they have these really strong, thick tap roots. And what I do is in the spring I cut them, right? I just go in there and I just take all of this. Me and my wife will take all of this stuff off. The only bad thing, like I said, we do is we shake out the plants or whatever we have. We shake it out to get that soil to go back, so we don't lose it all. The only thing bad about that, pay attention, is that these are like a wheat kernel, They got seeds. There's seeds in there. So yeah, I am actually shaking out some of the seeds from that stuff. And I'm sure there's a better way to do it. I could come in here and just maybe chop and rake some of that stuff. But either way, when you disturb it, you're going to have seeds that are going to fly down. So when that happens, it is a little bit more of a pain because I will have to weed probably a little bit more than I would normally have to. However, that soil is rich. There's so many earthworms in this, and maybe I'll throw a video when we're over here doing it. And there's so many earthworms, and I didn't add any earthworms to these garden beds. I've thought about it. I've just never actually done it. But yeah, you can go to Walmart, buy yourself a dozen night crawlers, put them in that bed, get yourself 2 dozen for that bed. Wow, voila, you just spent $5. Make you holla, playa. So yeah, you spent $5, and let them live in there, and they will multiply, and they will stay in this raised bed, and they will poop. And when they poop hard. And that freaking, let me tell you something, that the earthworm poop combined with the tap roots that are in here from some of the stronger weeds that are taking that stuff up, they keep this ground well fertilized year round. Year round. I don't fertilize these pepper plants, and you guys have seen videos how good they do, right? What I do is I throw some bone meal and blood meal. Sometimes if I have a little Dr. Earth organic, you know, it's like little pellets fertilizer in the beginning of the season, and that's it. You can always throw a little blood meal down the road a little bit, just, you know, toss it on top of soil. And when they start blooming, you want to hit it with a little more blood meal, bone meal. That's fine. But yeah, I found that the no-till method for this situation works better. I found that. See, you got people that will do a full clean out, okay? Like this bed right here, okay? This bed is been fully cleaned out. And you can see when it rains though, you know, you're just gonna get, this thing fills right up with water. You're gonna get a lot of puddles in there. But this soil is not as healthy as mine. Why? Because the nutrients just wash down, 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 and eventually they're so far down, there's nothing else to bring them up. Now, whoever's bed this is, they can always till this if they want to kind of mix this around. That's a pain, but they can do that, and maybe they can kick up some of those nutrients. But this bed here is a dead bed. Nobody's used it in 3 years. You know what? But I bet you the soil under here is probably rich as all can be. I can see it. Yeah. There's a couple worms. Yeah, the soil's looking really good. Why is it? Because you see that? There's life under there. And some of these plants, and I don't remember which ones it are, maybe these, they have these tap roots, and you run across them when you're in here cleaning these beds out, and they're very thick, right? And they're very strong. And the way it works, the way God created this whole ecosystem, is those tap roots, they bring up vital nutrients from deep in the soil. You know, those tap roots go below this raised bed. And there's, matter of fact, there's even cinder blocks in the middle of this thing, but there's still a space around the edges so that this thing doesn't get flooded. And you can see, and I'm not going to do it now because I'm not ready to uncover this, but I'll show you guys. We'll do a video on it, and I'll show you some of those tap roots. And boy, they're stubborn. You know, you got to chop them hard with the blade, and then, you know, go from there. But this is a little bit of a pain to weed early on. So around, you know, July and August, it just starts to gets kind of overrun with weeds. And then after that, I let the weeds go. There's nothing, it's not going to hurt them. I mean, the plants they're full of fruit, and they've already got the initial nutrient take that they needed. So I don't weed them in September and October. I just kind of let nature take its course, and they're just loaded with pods. But yeah, so that's my experience. Now, of course, I do most of my stuff is in 5-gallon and 7-gallon pots. So of course, but that's a little bit different. Of course, if you're composting, if you want to take these plants out, but I'm just saying, as far as whatever grows wild in here has these tap roots, brings them nutrients up, and when you pull this soil up, you see it. Look at that. I mean, this soil is just rich, and and I still put quite a bit of soil. When I take this off, even though I'm not digging the whole bed out and taking all the soil out, which would be stupid, I still have to put probably a good 6 of the 50-pound bags of raised bed mix. And I use organic Daddy Pete's. It has the raised bed mix. It has a absolute ton of pine bark in it, and it just works awesome. It's like, it smells good. Even you could just smell that pine tree smell. So yeah, some people, they handle their beds a little bit different. People over here that got like winter vegetables, they will well, this is crimson clover. I don't know what they do with this. They might feed this their rabbits, or they could eat it. I've never tried it before, but so they're going to maintain the beds. When you're replanting and stuff like that, you're going to have to weed them and everything. And you get other people. This one here has been mulched, right? So that one's had mulch put over it. But this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to do that. You could tell this isn't healthy looking. See what I'm saying? It just isn't. It's just, you could tell that soil, it's been washed out, you know. It's look at it. You can tell the rain has just pooled up in there that has made this a mud puddle. Over time, the nutrients have all just sank to the bottom. And so, yeah, that's how it goes down. This guy here, he knows what he's doing. And he actually, he does the same thing I do. So he leaves, he leaves all this, lets it die, and lets those tap roots bring up those nutrients from the soil. And don't get me wrong, it's going to be a son of a gun getting all this off, you know what I'm saying? But if you do it just right, use the flat shovel and cut along the edges and cut it like a piece of lasagna. Sometimes it's a little bit easier, or you just chop it into chunks, because you're not going to try to weed this like individual weeding. It's too much. So that's my till versus no till method. That's what works for me in a situation like this. Uncle Bocow, I freaking love you. What?